So as you're developing your course plan, I wanted to do a little bit of searching in some of the various open education sites for you to kind of give you an idea of some of the different types of materials that you have access to plug into your course plan. And specifically, I want to look at material types that are a little bit beyond the traditional textbook. Those you at this point know how to find and evaluate textbooks that fit how you teach and what you're teaching, but I want to give you a broader scope of what's out there. So beyond the traditional textbooks, I have here a list of open courses, and open courses are really great for finding those tidbits of information to plug into your course that are beyond just the textbook. So we're going to look at Sailor Academy for a moment, and let's go with business administration at this point. And you can see all the courses they have available. I want to look at the principles of marketing and kind of see what's out here. Now, open course listings are really, most of them allow a free account so that individuals can go through and take the whole course online themselves. However, as an instructor, you don't want to do that. You just want to see what is available for you to use. So by clicking on this resources tab, I'm going to see all of the information that they are linking in here, whether it's a article or chapter, a lecture. So maybe this is a lecture that I want to utilize. I can click on that. It gives me the consistent link, and here's the lecture. I can listen to it. If I find this of value, that's something I can see is easily a shareable link, and I can add that right into my course content, as well as any of the other hyperlinks in here. So it's a great way to find some information that you might not have that's already curated for your level of a course and your type of a course. Beyond the open courses, there are some really large repositories that I want to show you. First, I really like the OER Commons, and I like OER Commons because it has this ability to sort by education level. So if we're still doing our business marketing search, I can choose what level of course I'm teaching, and it's going to find materials that are specific to that level of course. The other thing that's really great about OER Commons is besides that you can search by material type. So as you can see, there's a variety of information in here. I don't necessarily need maybe the whole course, or maybe I don't want the text. Maybe I like to read other people's lecture notes. You can pick whatever you're looking for that suits your particular needs for your class. So we'll choose some. And here's an interactive activity, so students can go on and look at something online. You go straight to that resource, and here it is, and I can take the information, go through it, and utilize it or share it with my students. So it's a really good way to get assignments, maybe lesson plans, videos, images, all of that type of information. The other thing that I want to point out in OER Commons is underneath this you have conditions of use. So no strings attached, that's going to be your CC BY. And these are materials that you can remix and share. Share alike is this one. Read the fine print. This is something that's unique to OER Commons. So read the fine print, as you can see right here. These are copyrighted materials that can be used under the fair use guidelines easily, and they're open access, but not necessarily open educational resources. So keep note of that. The other thing that's nice is the publisher is noted. So if it's coming from a university, or if it's just individually shared, you can tell. That matters to some, not to others. But that is the OER Commons. The other repository that I like a lot is Merlot, which is started out as the University of California Open Education Network, and now it's become a really dynamic global community. So we're going to browse, and I'm going to go for marketing again. And then here, just like before, I can choose on material type, audience, platform, reviews. Maybe I'm looking for an assignment. As I go in, I can see the reviews. I can see when it was published, if it's been updated. I can read a little bit more about it. And again, it's a larger repository, so it's going to link you out to the publisher of that resource. And it will have the Creative Commons license right on it. So a really helpful resource in finding specific materials if you're not looking for that big overall textbook. Another resource to consider is some of the different media aspects. So of course we have, I'm going to show you a couple because most of you are familiar with TED Talks, so let's look at Vimeo. I really appreciate Vimeo has updated their search parameters, so you can find all kinds of things on here, but you can also narrow it down. So instructionals are usually tutorials or lessons, talks or overall information on the subject, but you can narrow or refine your search very nicely this way. And of course they have views and ratings, not as many, but very easy to find specific ones and share them out with your students. So it's a great resource. The other one I want to look at for a minute is the Creative Commons search. So Creative Commons image search is on the Creative Commons website, which does have a ton of information about open licensing and Creative Commons licenses. You can create your own license on here, share your work, contribute to the community, but right now we're going to look at their image search. Now this does pull from a wide variety of resources, including Google Images, Flickr, things like that. And this is going to give me a lot of information, but I just want to let you see some of the options here on the Creative Commons site. So breaking it down, I can use this for commercial purposes, I can modify it or adapt it, or I can choose the actual license that I'm looking for. So if you're only interested in CC BY, you can click on that. The CC0 and the public domain mark, those are very similar. So items in the public domain are images that have passed their copyright date and moved to the public domain, or that creators have placed intentionally on the public domain. The CC0 means they have taken their copyright off of it, so they don't even want the attribution. And so if you're looking for something that you can easily use, both of these are great. You can also do a source search. And as you see, a lot of your art museums have started uploading images of artworks that are openly licensed and can be used. So this would obviously be an image from the public domain that naturally moved there. However, some of these are not, and they're great images to use in presentations if you'd like. And you do have to be specific when you're doing a search because the Creative Commons image search is very vast. To actually use an image, what's really great about this, so you can download or save this image from here. The attribution is already done correctly, so you just copy this. If you want to embed the image and the attribution into your page, you just copy right here. So it makes it really easy to share out Creative Commons images with any of your resources. So those are a couple that I really like that you may not be familiar with. But as a whole, when you're choosing the resources, keep in mind that there's a wide variety of possibilities. So if you're not finding what you're looking for, reach out and ask. And remember to consider your students as you're going through this. Consumption, volume. We want to be cognizant as we're planning our courses about how much information we're sharing. Are we giving them too much? Are we giving them just enough to be interested and saving the rest for our in-class time or a video lecture or however you're communicating with your students? Are you overwhelming them with information? And the variety of possibilities available in open education, I feel, is really awesome, but also, if you love what you do, can tend to be exciting where you're pulling in way too much data to share with your students. So be really cognizant of how the volume of information you're sharing.